All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. Let me make sure the music is up. We should be good. Yeah. Okay, in there. Um, yeah, let me get the music started. Sound should be pretty good. Oh, I gotta drink some coffee. Look at Bitcoin, man. Um, Bitcoin got up to almost 120,000 a coin. Not really a shock. Bitcoin breaking all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is the big run right now. Wow. Yeah, so Bitcoin breaking all-time highs got up to 119,000 for Bitcoin futures. Currently sitting for Bitcoin futures around 118,205. AMD still pretty close to these all-time high levels if you take a look, but not quite there yet. I mean, Nvidia's got a ways to all-time highs. I'm sorry. Nvidia is what I meant. Nvidia broke all-time highs yesterday, got up to 164.50s, 164.50s for Bitcoin, or for Nvidia, propelling the market's higher and higher. And yeah, crazy market, to be honest. I'm excited for it though, man. Honestly, this is a great market. Uh, all right, so we got a lot of news to talk about here. Huh. All right, so yesterday there was a 35% tariff on Canada announced that's coming August 1st. This is up from 25% with exemptions from the USMCA compliant goods. Broader tariffs of 15 to 20% on other trading partners are also planned. There's currently a 50% tariff on copper imports announced, also effective August 1st, and the reciprocal tariffs originally scheduled for the early July 1st or July 10th or 9th, I think actually, have been delayed to August 1st, though letters outlining new rate proposals have been sent out. With markets calm despite the tariff announcement, global tariff revenue tripled in June, with China now hitting 30%. Indices like the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ are all slightly down this morning. Slightly down. You can kind of see we are slightly down this morning, down around 0.5% for most of these following the Canada Day announcement. We also have like Nvidia and other stocks kind of slipping down a little bit this morning. Nvidia at 163.20s, so Nvidia's falling. Energy and industrials are up though. BP is up almost 2%. Delta and United are a little bit slower after running on earnings yesterday. You can see DAL, put a 5-minute chart up. They're pulling back a little bit after this gap up from earnings. You also can see like United Airlines up here. Yeah, I'm trying to, where's United Airlines? Oh, there it is. Yeah, they're pulling back to 91s, but they're still doing pretty good. Most Bitcoin stocks with Bitcoin's all-time highs are rallying. MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor looking like a genius right now. Mara, Riot, Coinbase, all up pretty big after all-time highs yesterday. Coinbase hit $400 a share. And commodities, gold is pushing up a little bit. It's up almost 1% today, boosted by safe haven demand amid tariff worries. Copper prices are surging on tariff anticipation. US dollar was up versus Canadian dollar and the yen, driven by trade policy tensions and treasury yields. If we take a look at the 10-year treasury yields this morning, let me know if the sound is good. The sound should be pretty solid, but treasury yields are rising here. If we take a look at a 5-day chart, we dipped down around the 10th yesterday, and then we ripped up. So last 2 days have been pretty strong for treasuries. So that's where we're at now. Yeah, and here we are now. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Graph? Fox, Jay, Sam, Vegas, R, Britt, BT, Beach, Matthew, Beach Bum. Hey, what's up, brother? Keith, Ray, Rusty, Anthony. Hunter. Hey, what's up? Anything exciting going on yet? No, not really. But yeah, I don't know if yields look good. I don't know if yields look good. I'd rather yields be down, not up, personally. If we take a look at rate expectations, though, like we can take a look at rate expectations here and see they're still pretty unchanged. I don't know if this is just me or if they're just kind of slowing down in terms of movement here for rates. Here's the CME Fed Watch tool. It's still looking less than 7% likelihood that we're going to cut interest rates on July 30th. 93.3% likelihood of a pause as of now. So still pretty freaking likely that we're going to pause interest rates on July 30th. And that's just kind of how it goes. NASDAQ under 23,000 again, pulling back a little muted. We'll try to day trade it. Okay, wait. Yeah, I'm checking my I'm have to go look at which ones these are. Let me do a poll right now. I don't think I did a poll today. Yeah, let me do that right now. All right, let's do a poll. Coffee tastes good. Does Bitcoin break all-time highs again today? Yes or no? If you had 100 to invest, where would you put it? I don't know what I would do with it. I'd probably buy Bitcoin, but that's probably just because Bitcoin's breaking all-time highs right now. But yeah, look at early this morning. Bitcoin got up to almost 120,000. Chat. 120K. If we take a look at spot Bitcoin, these are Bitcoin futures, but wow. Yeah. Almost 120,000 for Bitcoin, which is crazy. Yeah, Bitcoin price about 118,000 right now. Slightly under one. Real spot price is about 117,950 or so. So Bitcoin making moves, which is crazy, of course. Do me a favor, hit the like button as you join the stream. Don't think so. Usually goes sideways after a move like that for a few days. So SQQQ, obviously, I showed it yesterday on a swing trade. So that means you were long. I just think we're right for a little bit of correction. Oh, you mean you bought SQQQ? Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think we have any earnings today. I'm taking a look at them. Yeah, and I'll be home either Monday or Tuesday next week, chat. So. Oh, man. No earnings, huh? Next week is the earnings week, right? What do we got next week? Yeah, and this is leading into earnings week next week, Chad, just to put this into perspective. Next week, we got a whole bunch of stuff. We got JP Morgan, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, State Street, Bank of New York, Albertsons, Ericsson, and more on Tuesday morning, which is an interesting nuance. And then more Hancock Whitney, JB Hunt after the bell. Wednesday, we have Johnson & Johnson, Goldman Sachs, Progressive, Morgan Stanley, PNC Financial. This is next week. First Horizon, Commerce Bank, and more. Wednesday in the evening, we got United Airlines, Alcoa, Kinder Morgan, SLG, SNG, AAR, Banner, and more. And then Thursday morning, we've got Taiwan Semiconductors, Pepsi, a bunch of other ones, Netflix, Thursday evening. Wait, so we don't really have any big earnings next week? Like in Big Mag 7 earnings? Let me take a look. So Apple, Tesla is usually the first big one. That's going to be July 23rd. We still got a couple weeks. Okay, good. And then everything else will be after that. So we still got a few weeks until. So it looks like most of the Big Mag 7 earnings, like Microsoft, Apple, are going to be around the Fed meeting. So around the Fed meeting, we're going to have big tech earnings. So that's going to be an even more interesting dynamic here. And then next week we even have more stuff too. So like, it's not slow right now. Let me pull up this. Hold on. This has been a slower week. So we did have Musalam speak yesterday. One of the Fed members. He says the economy is in a good place. Labor market is at near full employment, and some upside risk to inflation are there. We also said the Delta Airlines CEO say overall demand for air travel remains similar year over year, with softness largely contained to main cabin and particularly off-peak periods. Outlook went down yesterday. Coinbase CEO said it partnered with Perplexity AI yesterday as well. Yeah, Bitcoin. Almost 120K. Coinbase as well. I remember buying Coinbase when it IPO'd. And I lost a lot. I bought it at like 430s. 420s when it IPO'd, near the all-time high. And then it just dumped down. And now it's all the way back, getting closer to that level that I bought it at, so that's good for Coinbase. All right, so we just got some news regarding Secretary of State in a meeting with Chinese counterpart emphasized importance of keeping channels of communication open. All right, looking at our poll, we did a poll asking people if Bitcoin was going to break all-time highs again today. 67% so far out of about 100 votes say yes. 33% say no. Robinhood will eventually get into the S&P, maybe. I like Robinhood as a company. I think Robinhood's solid as a company. Personally, I think the bank's earnings releases are going to be fully cooked with some well-done guidance and just full of, well, not right outliers, but some stretches. Yeah, it's hard to tell which context of the word cook you're using. I have a young son, like a 10-year-old son, and they use cooked in the context of like bad. Like, oh, I'm cooked, which means I'm gonna lose, you know? And so when I originally read your comment, I thought you were speaking in terms of the slang, young people slang, you know? Last night I might dump it and take the profit and go back to bed. Oh yeah, I have a long-term account. This is just my little day trading account. Hey, good luck, brother. Johnson & Johnson. Rug pull coming? Maybe. It's possible. AMC upgraded? Was it really? Where's AMC at right now? AMC up a little bit. Still kind of... AMC has lost some hype, though, to be honest. It's up to 320s. It's trying. Potentially some altcoin could see larger percentage gains. I don't mess around with alts at all anymore, though. You think Bitcoin or simply play to get more bang for your buck, like ETH or Solana? Maybe. You think the market's disconnected from reality? Somebody says. Cooked is bad. Cooking is good. Yes, that's correct, Ryan. From what I can understand it from my 10-year-old son, that's correct. If you say, I'm cooked, that means like I'm done. Like I'm gonna lose, you know. Or if you say, I'm cooking right now, it means I'm doing good. You know, it depends on who the cooker is or the cookie. You know, not cookie. Okay, now it's even more confusing. You get my point. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what AMC's gonna do. They've lost so much. Like, people don't go to the movies that much anymore. They still go, but not. Every time I've gone to the movies in the last few years, they've been pretty empty. They haven't been that big. There's not that many people there. Yeah, no, I know what you mean by that, R. I got you, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on it. I know. Does Weeble eventually run? Where is Weeble? I'll tell you this. Weeble is acting incredibly similar. I'm going to put Bitcoin up on the left side. Weeble is acting incredibly similar to Robinhood. And I guess that makes sense. In the context of like a really long-term chart. Very similar in this context here. Like, look, Bull ran up big and then dipped. Robinhood ran up big and then dipped. Very similar, to be honest. Like, look. This how, and again, Robinhood now, when you fast forward, is almost $100 a share. Bull is down to 1280s. And honestly, Weeble is a stock that I am interested in buying. I'm definitely interested in buying Weeble. Many people have their own cinema sets. No need for cinema with annoying people around you. Yeah, one of the last time I went to a movie theater, somebody was sitting in our purchase seats. And I had to go up to him and be like, yo, like, you know, and they acted like they were their seats. And I was like, nope, these are our seats. You got to move. And they were like annoyed by it. And I'm like, dude, if you think I'm going to go sit in the corner and not see the movie, which are not even my seats, just so you can sit in my seats, you're crazy, bro. I'll make it uncomfortable. Like, let's go. Like, just move, you know. I'm not mad if the movie's halfway over and nobody decided to sit and you try to sit in my seats, and then when somebody comes along, you're like, okay, you know. But if the movie hadn't started yet and you're in my seats and I'm like, yo, get up, you're gonna have to get up. The F1 movie is good. Weeble will never be Robinhood. I don't know about that franchise. I think Weeble's got a lot of stuff. Robinhood, I think Weeble's got a better platform than Robinhood does. If we're talking about Weeble versus Robinhood, I think Weeble has a better platform than Robinhood does. Like a way better platform. Robinhood probably has the user base, but yeah. Weeble's growing rapidly, 100%. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can trade a little bit here. All right, so the U.S. State Department announced plans to lay off nearly 15% of its domestic staff. Is that good or bad? Looking at our poll numbers, still almost 70% of votes say yes, Bitcoin does break all-time highs today. 70%. Robinhood is making gains with Legend, getting close to legit charts. Yeah, I mean, again, I've said this once. I've talked about this argument once. And honestly, I've talked about this argument well before Robinhood put out their own native, like, good platform. Robinhood's biggest issue, what they did the most wrong, is that they didn't give experienced traders. Oh, my bad here, guys. I'm looking at this. They didn't give experienced traders a good platform to use. Yeah. So they didn't give experienced traders a good platform to use for a long time. Robinhood, one of the appeals for Robinhood stock and Robinhood in general was that Robinhood was very easy to use. You could get started even if you don't know much about stocks. Buying stocks was very easy on Robinhood. But the problem is that investors and traders do not stay newbies forever. Like they do not stay wanting simple platforms forever. Eventually they're going to get better and they're going to want a better platform. You know? Like eventually they're going to get better, they're going to want a better platform, and Robinhood took a long time to give it to them. And this is, and I think a lot of people eventually evolved to go to other platforms because Robinhood's platform was too simple. You know, they wanted an actual like professional platform. And Robinhood recently, in the last like year or two, put out a good platform, but it took them 10 years to do it. And so a lot of people left Robinhood in that context and went on. But they're getting better. To be fair, Robinhood is getting better with their platforms. You know, they are getting better. So, hey. But again, like the big takeaways for today's market is despite the tariff turbulence, markets have held pretty steady, record highs on the S&P and NASDAQ. Inflation pressure is rising, though tariffs could feed inflation through higher commodities like copper and consumer prices. Earnings season is still in focus. We got Delta, Levi, and more getting overshadowed a little bit still by the trade dynamics, but pivotal for near-term price action. And so we want to watch how futures settle as markets digest the Canadian tariff news. You know, copper and possibly broader partners as well. Gold and copper and other commodities and yields are reacting to shifts while tech remains under pressure. It's dipping a little bit after big runs. We want to keep an eye on, you know, data to see how it moves things. We don't really have any big data today in terms of US data, but we do have Canadian data coming out today. And I think this is even more relevant right now just because of the recent tariff announcement on Canadiana. Yeah, today we got Canadian unemployment, Canadian building permits dropping. So we'll see what happens. Robinhood is 100% just a side account for me. Anyways, I think that's for a lot of people because they didn't create a native platform that was good for professionals. Took them a while. The EU tariff letter will drop the markets today. Maybe, brother. It might. We'll see. It's possible. The same traders will just use Robinhood in another platform. I don't think so. What do you think of Hood's tokenized shares? I think it's a good idea and concept. Fidelity is the long term. Was the tariff on Canada for all goods? No, so there's exemptions for USMCA compliant goods. What the heck? All right, guys. Hey, so Robinhood at 99s right now, roughly 99s. Got over 100 or 97s. Sorry. Active Trader Pro. Yeah, that's what I feel. Allowing retail to invest in private companies like SpaceX. Yeah, I think SpaceX is about to go public, right? In my opinion, I don't feel like there's any other stock or crypto with more volume than Bitcoin. Probably not right now. Bitcoin's at all-time highs. So, I mean, I don't know. I have to look at the volume profile of different... I mean, Nvidia. Let's look it up. All right, so Nvidia has a volume today. 140, basically 150 million shares traded so far in Nvidia. It's below the 3-month average of 215. Bitcoin trading volume the last 24 hours, though, is about 121 billion. Estimates about 76.7 billion. TradingView gives it about 100 billion over the last hour, or the last day. So obviously Bitcoin trading volume is widely up. I'm trying to think of something else that might have more volume than Bitcoin. Maybe like the SPY. Commodities could be there. But I don't think they're anywhere close to Bitcoin today. Yeah, 60 million in the SPY. Checking. But yeah, nothing's getting anywhere near Bitcoin today. It's just around all-time highs. Yeah, so somebody's asking, why is Bitcoin spiking? There's a bunch of different reasons for Bitcoin spike. Bitcoin is breaching resistance triggered. 1 billion in short positions were liquidated, affecting almost 240,000 traders, pushing prices from 116 to 118. We had big institutional inflows as well. Spot Bitcoin ETFs attracted almost 1.2 billion in inflows yesterday, boosting 2025 cumulative inflows to approximately $51 billion, according to MarketWatch. Speculative momentum and risk-on sentiment. A breakout early in the week invited momentum traders, accelerating the rally. We had growing optimism around upcoming Fed rate cuts, especially caused by the president, combined with geopolitical and trade-related uncertainty. It's driving people towards crypto as a safe haven asset, as well as like the current policy and regulatory friendly backdrop for Bitcoin. Proposed legislation like the Genius Act and the Clarity Act, and increasing government interest in Bitcoin reserves initiatives. Other broad adoption measures as well, helping it. So it means a short squeeze, ETF inflows attract momentum, macro drivers support the narrative, and regulatory clarity builds confidence. And this is all propelling Bitcoin higher and higher and higher. Bitcoin currently at 118,250, almost 120 here. So that's what's going on. Yeah, the Canada tariff were announced. SpaceX won't go public until they're coming back and forth to Mars. I've seen that stated many times. You don't like the token aspect, you're not investing into it, you're buying a token backed by nothing. Well, would you say the same about Bitcoin? Yeah, if we take a look at oil here. Oil's slightly trending down. It's at 67 a barrel, which isn't really a bad price for oil. Yeah, I mean, if we get a rate cut this month, Bitcoin's going to fly, I think. I think the whole market would fly, to be honest. But I think Bitcoin especially would fly. Hey, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Yeah, so I've changed this mic. Y'all can't hear me typing at all, right? Like people complained about my last mic. They said they could hear me typing. I'm typing. Watch, I'm typing right now, and you can't hear it at all, right? I'm definitely bringing this mic home. Yeah, look at oil spike up a little bit today. Oil's up to 67s. All right, guys, so we are still making moves here. Now you can't hear typing? Nice. Why don't you allow memberships? We have memberships, bro. You can join memberships right now. You gotta go to the subscribe button and click join, sir. Also, I think there's a new feature here. I gotta check it out. Hold on. I think I can do the whole thing. Let me see if I can add it to my streams. Give me a second here. Yeah, I got this new leaderboard feature here that I want to use. All right, let me see if I can find it. I gotta go to settings. Yeah, Bitcoin though, very close to all-time highs. You know, about 2 hours ago we hit it. Yeah, do y'all see the leaderboard feature? I'm trying to do it. No, not yet. Yeah, hit the like button. Yeah, I think I have to do it at the start of the stream, unfortunately. So next week we'll have this implemented. I just got to figure out where to do it. But they did send me an email saying I have it. So I just don't know where. All right, guys. Sorry, I bumped my mic. ExxonMobil to 120 today. John, if you thought about wearing headphones, it might help with the sound volume issues. What sound volume issues? I mean, I'm pretty sure I fixed all of them. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun, man. All right, look at oil still spiking up, though. I'm still watching Bitcoin pretty closely here. But Bitcoin's still down. Robinhood is up. We can take a look at the NASDAQ here. NASDAQ at 22,915. So let's put some trading up here. Love from India. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, brother. What's your thoughts on AMD long term? I like AMD. I think AMD is a good company. Like my current laptop that I'm using right now has an AMD, built system, an AMD Ryzen 9. So I like AMD. Like their processors are solid. I think it's going to keep growing as a company. Maybe not as much as Nvidia, but still solid. Maybe grows more than Nvidia. Nvidia's been around all-time highs, though. You can see it at 164s. So Nvidia's trying. It's kind of sideways. We're watching it. Oil spike it up. And again, we can put the SPY up. SPY at 622s. All-time highs on the SPY are currently about 627s. But you can see, like, we're in this, like, medium range here that I see right now. Like, look. We're in this little rectangular range right here. Up, down, right in the middle. So I'm not really sure of what to do here. I think I just gotta wait. But again, I'm not an investment professional as well. I'm not liable if you lose money. You always got to make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable. Chat. Dude, it is raining here. Can y'all see this? It is raining where I'm at right now. Short from 118.7s in Bitcoin shall I hold? So you're shorting Bitcoin at all-time highs, brother? I mean, good luck, dude. I don't know what I want to do there. I don't want to short Bitcoin right now, that's for sure. That's a risky move right now, brother. I mean, do what you want to do, but I'm not doing it. Let me ask the chat. Are you guys interested in shorting Bitcoin at all-time highs? Again, personally, that's a big no for me. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't short Bitcoin anyway, but definitely not here. Yeah, so it says introduce this new feature at the start of your stream. Shorting right now is inviting yourself to the liquidity grab. Right, like you're inviting yourself to get short squeezed on Bitcoin right now. No, I'm good. I'm not going to do that. We'll just get it ready for Monday. I just don't know where I start it. I can engage with the audience. Show support. I can do a little heart. I don't know how. 100 symbol. Emotes. Yeah, it's alright. Crypto is running ETH, Bitcoin, and XRP. Wouldn't be shorting any of these. There was some news that I can't remember. Yeah. Bitcoin was 111 when I went to sleep and 118 when I woke up. Yeah, you can see Bitcoin broke all-time highs. It made its run up to 119 at midnight last night. Basically at midnight last night. Made its run up to 118. Now it's at, it almost got up to 120. But basically from 12 to 3 a.m. last night, Bitcoin made a crazy run. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's what's going on this morning. Is Mitch with us today? Mitch was supposed to come on yesterday, but I'm traveling right now, so it's harder to do. Like first I canceled and then he canceled on yesterday, and so it's been busy for me. I've been traveling a lot, and it's hard for me to run everything on a laptop, you know, especially with guests and stuff. It just makes it harder. I opened my long on Bitcoin from 98,000 to opportunity to buy, close at 120. That's a very good trade percentage wise. I might buy Bitcoin on this dip too. Let me see. Like I can trade a Combine account and just kind of buy the dip on Bitcoin. Let me see where I'm at. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me get a different one. There we go. This is the one I want. So yeah, hold on. This is an eval. I'm gonna buy Bitcoin on this eval right now. Micro Bitcoin, MBT. I'm just gonna buy in here. A lot of contracts. 5. I guess I can only do 5 max and see if we get like a surge back up here, which I think we will, but who knows. I wish they let me buy more, but I've been a pretty big bull in Bitcoin regardless, though. Like, even with yeah, Bitcoin price at 117.9. Bitcoin spot price at 117.9 right now. Yeah. And so you can kind of see we're up pretty nicely here too. I think I'm just gonna hold this, to be honest. I rarely trade the Dow. I don't like trading the Dow as much. I mean, I sometimes do. Dow's kind of a different animal, though. It behaves a little differently. So, like, I have traded the Dow before. Most of the time, I stick with the NASDAQ or the E-mini. The ES. The ES or the NASDAQ. Yeah, I just tell Bitcoin yesterday, don't do that, but can't trade Bitcoin shorter term. Hey, nice, Kelly. Nvidia at 163, still pretty close to all-time highs as well. If we take a look at Nvidia all-time highs are now almost 165. We hit it yesterday at the opening bell. We got up to 164.84, very close to all-time highs right now. Could very easily make a push towards the opening bell, especially the opening bell the last few days has honestly been pretty volatile. Like, we've had big run-ups at the opening bell a lot, and so it's honestly been pretty volatile. So it'll be an interesting time. I'm certainly paying attention to the opening bell today, as well as, like, we have honestly had some interesting movement in everything. Bitcoin, equities, tariff announcements. Again, the big announcement on if we take a look at, like, the SPY. If we take a look at, like, the NASDAQ or the SPY, we had big drops on the Canada tariff announcement last night, and you can kind of see how this big pullback happened on big Canada tariff announcements, just to kind of regroup that here. They announced 35% tariff on Canada coming August 1st, which is up from 25% with exemptions on USMCA compliant goods. Broader tariffs of 15 to 20% on other trading partners are also planned, and a 50% tariff on copper imports was announced effective August 1st. And that's essentially what tanked the market last night. In the NQ, Nvidia still at 164. We got Bitcoin here on the left side, breaking all-time highs early this morning as a safe haven asset, kind of. All right, so look, here's a run up. Still got a ways to go, but I think we're close enough to all-time highs to where the whole market wants a retest of this. I'm just gonna sit in this. So there's still taxes on crypto. All right, so here's a nice little run up. All right, so yeah, yesterday, they didn't remove taxes, but yesterday the Treasury and IRS officially repealed a reporting requirement for decentralized finance, DeFi platforms, or crypto brokers rule. This applies only to the reporting obligations by non-custodial DeFi services, not to any taxes on users. So they didn't remove taxes on crypto transactions, gains, or income. All activities in crypto remain taxable as property or income. Crypto is still explicitly treated as property on tax returns as well. And centralized exchanges still must report user transactions. I'm not sponsored by any chip company, brother. Oh, Doritos, you know. I'm not sponsored by them. But we had a fake Doritos scammer try to tell me to get sponsored by Doritos. Yep. Bitcoin making a run, guys, towards all-time highs. A run right now. I'm putting it up. Look at this. I mean, we just bought the dip. I mean, we're around all-time highs. Here's the thing. Traders are starting to wake up here in the US, right? That's what's propelling this higher. I'm sitting in this right now. I'm just going to hold this. We actually already fixed that, the live thing. Cool. So refresh the screen. You'll see a different one. It says live trading now. We fixed it. Bitcoin is 800 points away from a new all-time high with the market open volume. Definitely it will break it. Yeah, I mean, that's my logic here of this trade is that we broke all-time highs in the middle of the night where a lot of people were not awake. And then we dipped a decent amount down to the 200 exponential. And now traders are starting to wake up. And I think they're going to get optimistic. They might buy the dip looking to attack the all-time high break on Bitcoin. And so, yeah, that's why we bought micro Bitcoin this morning, just because we can. And seems like an easy trade. But who knows? Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. Can't guarantee anything here, chat. Again, I'm probably just going to sit in this here. I want to see if we make a push towards all-time highs. I think that might be one of the stories of the day. And so I'm probably just going to sit in this. What do you guys think? Do we keep breaking all-time highs? We did a poll this morning for Bitcoin. 72% of people say yes. 28% of people say no. We'll see. Still got a lot of time this morning. I think people are going to... I'm not a big believer in Cool Ranch Doritos. I don't like ranch. I'll eat anything aside from like vinegar-heavy foods. Ranch, mustard, and mayo. I don't eat mayo, mustard, ranch, or vinegar. Those are the four main foods I dislike. As long as it isn't too like I'll eat barbecue sauce which has some vinegar in it, but I'm not gonna eat salad dressing. I don't eat salad dressing, but I'll eat salad, but just no dressing. I don't like ranch. I don't like mustard. I don't like mayo. Anything that's too tangy or weird tasting, I don't like it. But everything else I'll eat. Hey, what's up, shrimp? Yeah, I wonder if GameStop's going to squeeze up today because of Bitcoin. Here's Nvidia. Here's GameStop right here. It's not really moving at all. GameStop has lost a lot of interest. So GameStop has lost a lot of interest. What kind of grown-up doesn't eat mayo? This one right here. No mayo for me. How dare I not eat mayo? Salad with no dressing? What are you, a psycho? I know, man. I'll eat some spicy foods, don't get me wrong. But I just don't eat. I don't like mayo. Mayo doesn't really have a taste. I just don't like, I don't know. Don't judge me, you know? How dare you? I'll eat barbecue sauce. I'll eat ketchup. You know? I'll be alright. I'm kind of a meat and potatoes person anyway. Like, I eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot of savory foods, you know? Not a big salad person. Yeah, I like butter. Oh, Bitcoin sustains it if it dumps. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of pulling back now here. We're getting closer to my entry. I think I'm just going to sit in this all morning, though. That's the plan right now. Is just to sit in this thing all morning. That's the goal right now. Just stay. Don't get out. Again, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Don't judge me for not eating mayo or mustard. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Ranch is an institutionally weighted sauce, bro. It's a major mover on the sauce market. I know, bro. Listen, I'm missing out on gains here. All right. I'm getting FOMO here, you know. All right, so we're about to back up. We're almost at 119s here, but we ripped up to a lot of people thought we were going to get a run. I'm going to sit in this. I got a good enough entry where I still have room. And even if it goes red, I'll probably still hold this position. I'll eat ketchup on a hot dog. I'd rather chili cheese, but I'll eat ketchup if I need to, you know, if I have to. Yeah, for sure. Any catalyst this morning? Well, Bitcoin's breaking all-time highs on short squeeze, institutional inflow volume, and more. So Bitcoin breaking all-time highs early this morning. Yesterday at around 7 p.m., we had a big pullback from Canadian tariff announcements on copper and a bunch of other stuff. I think they're at 35% now. Some are at 50%. So big Canadian copper and other tariff announcements yesterday tanked markets down from all-time highs. Bitcoin is currently being seen because of this as a safe haven asset and is running up pretty significantly. So Bitcoin being seen as a safe haven, running up pretty significantly on like a squeeze slash inflow volume slash safe haven status for Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently sitting at about 118.5, but still trying. Yeah, do not get out of this. This is just beginning Bitcoin rally or not booking any profits. Yeah, I feel you. I eat a lot of veggies. I just don't like salads. Like, I like broccoli. I like asparagus. I like green beans, you know. I like fruits. I just don't eat salad as much. I'll eat salad, just not a lot. Alright, guys. We're basically completely flat in this micro Bitcoin position here. You can see Bitcoin pull back. This is the 200 exponential right at 118.45, 47. So we're still in this. Bitcoin, in terms of breaking news, has been a little slow. We had Chinese auto dealers Chamber of Commerce say closely watching issues in car dealership industry. We had the Brazilian finance minister says fresh projections do not take into account the U.S. tariff of 50%. How did the bond auction do yesterday? I didn't see how the market responded to it. Because this is Bitcoin futures. Actual Bitcoin spot price is slightly different. Yeah, Bitcoin spot price is about 118, depending on which platform you look. There's always a little bit of a spread with it, but it's around 118 right now. The chart's still similar, though. All right, and again, looking at our poll numbers, we did a poll this morning. 72% of people think Bitcoin breaks all-time highs again today. 28% of people say no, it does not break all-time highs again. We're starting to head back down. Again, I'm just going to sit in this, I think, and just wait. Oil went up as my long worked. Yeah, I mean, you can take a look at oil. Oil's up a little bit this morning. Not a ton. It's still down from the last few days. Oil currently sitting at about 67.30 a barrel. So oil's still down, or down from the last 20 or 48 hours or so, but up a little bit this morning in pre-market for oil. It is moving some. Yeah, and again, we're probably just going to sit in this here. We could have a cup and handle play, but probably just sitting in this one. Should I hold or sell, guys? I'm not going to listen to you, but I'm curious to see what other people's sentiment is. All right, we're back down to 118.30s. Falling down, doesn't look good. I don't think it lets me buy anymore here, but I'm going to give it a second, though. This isn't really anything major, and I think if we zoom out here, you can kind of see we're sideways since we started making this test. We broke highs up here. I tend to think we want to test them again, and so I'll probably just sit in this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it a buy or sell right now for Bitcoin? I think longer term is probably a buy, of course, because most of the time Bitcoin is a buy long term, in my opinion. I think long term Bitcoin's probably going to go up. You don't know for sure. I'm definitely not an investment professional, but I think long term Bitcoin's rising. You know, I just think that's the nature of Bitcoin, is that long term it goes up. It has been for years. It has different cycles, but long term in general it goes up. And I think the really smart people DCA over long periods of time into it and build wealth. But short term, you never freaking know. And it already broke all-time highs once this morning. New all-time highs for Bitcoin spot price. Are currently about, what, 118.5 or so, depending on where you look. I can take a look at like Kraken. It's at 118.07s. All-time high is now 118.7 or 118.6. So still very close to all-time highs here. We got the 8:30 scrum. So in about 3 minutes, we do have some Canadian data coming out in about 3 minutes. Specifically, we have Canadian building permits, unemployment, and participation rate for June coming out pretty soon. We'll see if that boosts markets. I think this is a little bit more relevant today based on versus other days, just because of the tariffs announced last night. You know, I think we had tariffs last night and announced. News has been pretty slow this week, but next week we got CPI inflation data, which is a massive, massive report going live. Where's Tesla at this morning? I haven't looked at it yet. Let's take a look. Tesla's still doing pretty well. I mean, back versus where it was not that long ago. Tesla's up from 288s back on the 7th. So just 3 days ago, 4 days ago, Tesla was under 300. It's back over 300s. It's at about 310s. Again, we don't have that long until this Canadian data drops. We got about a minute. About 1 minute. Until the Canada data comes out. So we'll see what that looks like. Short-term Bitcoin is not a buy, somebody says. DCA, baby, I'm never selling Bitcoin. Buy, still buy, close to break even. Jobs report today? No. We have no jobs report today. Unfortunately. We don't have anything going on today. It's kind of slow. All right, yeah, we got about 30 seconds until Canadian data comes out. We got Canadian data dropping pretty soon. Yeah, Canadian building permits, employment dropping in about 10 seconds, 5 seconds really. Let's see if this influences things. We will also trade the NQ pretty soon after this report. All right, so here's the report going live just now. Report just came out. It showed up at 6.9% for Canadian unemployment, which was a little bit better than expected. Building permits showed a 12% gain versus a negative 1.5% expected for Canada. Unemployment was lower at under 7% versus 7.1% expected for Canada. Employment change was 83,000 versus 0.9,000 expected. So more positive, much more positive for jobs in Canada than expected, and building permits came in stronger than expected for Canada. So not a shock, but you know, a little bit better than expected jobs data for Canada this morning. Again, participation rate 65.4%. Part-time employment more came in slightly better, but building permits showed strong 12% versus negative 1% expected or so. The big one is the unemployment rate. We'll put this one up in chat. The unemployment rate here. It's probably the biggest one. You can see it right there. We'll see if we get a bounce back though. See if Bitcoin finds a bottom. Bitcoin has basically been flat for the last 4 minutes. So we'll see if it comes back. That's what we're watching today. Tesla is up there. We're also watching the NASDAQ here, which is kind of pulling back some after breaking all-time highs a couple days ago. I don't think you should never sell Bitcoin. Bitcoin is worthless? I mean, I disagree. There's a very famous quote in real estate, and the quote goes, market value is only what somebody's willing to pay for it. Right now, people are willing to pay $120,000 for a Bitcoin. 120K for a Bitcoin. And so in Bitcoin as well, like one of the things I always see is that Bitcoin has no use case. Of course, Bitcoin has a use case. Bitcoin is valuable for the same exact reason that PayPal is valuable. Why do you use PayPal? Because you can send money to a lot of different places pretty easily if you know what you're doing. You pay a small fee to do this. And Bitcoin doesn't even have that much of a fee depending on when you send it, but it does have some fees. Bitcoin has less red tape. And Bitcoin is not really hackable. You can't really like fake or counterfeit a Bitcoin because of the blockchain technology. You can also kind of have some protection with Bitcoin. And so for the same reason PayPal as a company is valuable, Bitcoin is valuable as a company because of the blockchain technology as well as the use case argument. It's also kind of like online gold as well. It has kind of a multi-dimensional value. It's kind of like online gold as well, meaning people use it as a safe haven right now, especially, and they hedge against inflation with it. And so there's a lot of use cases for Bitcoin right now, but those are the main two I would say, which is safe haven, hedge against inflation. A lot of people are using it as that, as well as blockchain technology in and of itself is incredibly valuable and useful. So. And I think most of the people that say it has no value are just people who missed out on the big runs from Bitcoin and crypto. Like if you missed out on the Bitcoin run, if you were telling people it was worthless at $1,000 a coin, you might kind of be big mad right now because it's at $120,000 a coin. And so I think that's most of the people. All right, so Partners Group is reportedly weighing a sale of COTE according to some news sources. Again, we did have Canadian data show up today. Canadian data showed up stronger than expected, better building permits than expected by 12% is what they showed up as versus like a negative number expected. Lower unemployment rate than expected for Canada. They showed up at only 6.9%, which is pretty high in our standards versus 7% expected. Right, exactly, Robert. All right, Bitcoin bouncing back here, Yeah, I mean, I think there's a chance quantum breaks, but I think we're a long way out from that. Meaning like a decade or two at least. And I don't think it's really got a good chance of doing it anyway, but if it does, small chance happen, I think it's years and years out. And who knows where Bitcoin's going to be at that point in time anyway. And so that's kind of my logic of it. Yeah, and this week's been slow. We don't have any economic data really this week. We had jobless claims yesterday. We had thousands of people here, but today's kind of slow aside from Bitcoin breaking all-time highs. That's the story. And yeah, less than an hour before the opening bell. Nah, we had Canadian data show up. Well, yeah, you have to eventually sell to lock in profit. I agree with that. I'm not saying you should never sell Bitcoin. But, like, okay, it's the same thing for a stock, right? So, like, an example of this is a lot of stocks you should hold forever. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit and turn the sensitivity up so I can actually talk because it's so loud in my headphones. A lot of stocks you should never sell. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment, trade smart. I can't guarantee anything, but a lot of stocks you should never sell. Okay, what I mean by that is you should never sell them. You should hold them generationally and build wealth for your family. Like if somebody bought Apple 30 years ago, they could pass that on to their kids, and then their kids are going to be incredibly well off from that stock if they have enough positions of it. And eventually, maybe their kids decide to sell some of it and lock in profit and live well from it. But it should be a generational thing a lot of the time. And in theory, you should never sell stocks unless you really need to. But Bitcoin can be in the same context where you can pass it on generationally to your family. And I think that's what a lot of people do. I think that's what a lot of people are doing. Now, don't get it twisted here. If I was up hundreds of millions of dollars from Bitcoin, you better believe I'm taking profit. Okay. So I'm not really saying you should never sell Bitcoin ever. It depends on the context. If I'm up tens, 20, 30, 40, 100 million, I'm locking in 75% of that right now, and I'm going to live good for the rest of my life and invest in other stuff and hedge and then pass that on to my family instead. But I think there's a good chance, even if I decided to leave it in there, I'd still get pretty wealthy from it, but who knows? What do you guys think? There is no value. Did you not hear everything I said, Roddy? We talked about it. There's value. Do you know anyone in your circle who actually use Bitcoin in their day-to-day lives consistently? No, but that's not what it's for, Diego. That's kind of like saying this, Diego. Do you know anybody that uses gold in their day-to-day life consistently? You know anybody that barters with gold regularly? Not like they go to the store and they buy groceries with gold. And again, Bitcoin has the use case argument. I can send money to anywhere in the world with Bitcoin easily without red tape. That's a pretty valuable thing, I think. For the same reason PayPal is a multi-billion-dollar company, Bitcoin is too. Really, it's more than that, but still, that's the point. All right, guys. Anyways, we're in our micro Bitcoin long position on a little day trade here. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to ride it up to all-time highs, and I'm trying to hold on to this so we can hit all-time highs. Yeah, apart from central banks, governments, corporations. Yeah, let me go sell Bitcoin for 400% gain short term since it has no value. Remember NFTs? People justified them too. NFTs were different though. NFTs were a different thing. NFTs, the problem is that what happened with NFTs is a massive amount of dilution in a short period of time. Meaning, people started creating NFTs on everything and anything. And that diluted the value of NFTs, as well as like the value proposition for NFTs was always a little bit off, I think. Like there's still value in them to a certain extent, but it's not super high, Yeah, say I buy out a Jackson Pollock painting. It's pretty much just paint split on a canvas, and yet if I hold it for 10 plus years, I could easily sell it for millions. Value is simple. Yeah. There's also a finite amount of Bitcoin that's mineable for proof of work. And over time, it's going to become more and more rare. They designed it that way. Yeah, you could create NFTs for music. All right, guys, Nvidia here. A little slow this morning. I mean, we're still a little quiet this morning, but iPhone costs $10 to make. Apple charges $1,000. Yeah, it's all market value. Yeah, they look like geniuses, El Salvador, right now. A lot of people made fun of them for it too, but they look like geniuses right now. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why I'm buying this right now. I think it's a longer term day trade here, but I mean, William, you could say the same thing about gold, brother. You know, so he says, so what people really desire are dollars, not Bitcoin. They sell to obtain fiat money, true money, and value. True money backed by what, William? Again, you got to look at it in the context of gold, right? Like I could buy a bunch of gold and have the same argument. You know, it doesn't mean gold is worthless. Um, And if anything, the reason people are flocking towards Bitcoin right now, especially, is because of a safe haven assets, because they don't trust the dollar. They don't trust the stock market right now. You know, the tariffs are scaring everybody, and so they're flocking towards safe havens like Bitcoin, and that's kind of what's been going on. MicroStrategy should be pumping. Michael Saylor's looking like a genius right now. Coinbase up to $400 a share. MicroStrategy up to 434s. Coinbase at 391s. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, institutional support of crypto has been huge. A lot of good political posturing for crypto too. So no use case for Bitcoin. Well, the use case is that you can send money anywhere in the world and be mostly protected from things. Blockchain technology innately has protection and is unhackable, really, in terms of like counterfeit and stuff like that. And I would say even greater than like PayPal use case argument is Bitcoin. You know, you can send Bitcoin anywhere in the world, less red tape, very easily, and that's a use case. Don't get it twisted. I mean, we can act like that's not a use case, but for the same reason PayPal is worth so much, Bitcoin I think is a better, less flawed version of it. You know. Yeah, I'm just talking about right now, Big Benny. So Big Benny says Bitcoin's not a safe haven. We're just talking about right now, brother. So um, right now, what's going on in Bitcoin is four different things. Forced liquidations tend to accelerate upward moves, resulting in steep, rapid price jumps. So this is kind of a short squeeze. ETF inflows are attracting momentum. Large institutional cash inflows boost momentum. Macro drivers anticipates easing by the Fed in the next couple months, either in late July or September, as well as legislative progress and formal U.S. engagements reduce sector uncertainty. Uh, yeah, so basically, growing optimism around the upcoming Fed rate cuts, especially with everything going on, combined with geopolitical and trade-related uncertainty from tariffs, is driving capital towards crypto as an alternative safe haven, is what they're saying. But we'll see. We got 45 minutes until the opening bell. We'll see what that looks like. I'm ready for it. We're going to trade it live in both Bitcoin, micro Bitcoin, everything else. I'm bad. I didn't become a millionaire. Yeah, it's all good, bro. All money, including gold, is fiat. He likes Bitcoin. He also used to like Tesla. Me? What's up, Faye? Oh, you could. I mean, yeah, you could always find ways to do that, but still. All right, guys. So does the market in Bitcoin run at the opening bell or pull back? Let me know. Put run if you think it's going to run. Put pull back if you think it's going to pull back at the opening bell. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. You guys know me. I'm not an investment professional. I have no idea what's going to happen. Um, I mean, yeah, it could get stolen for sure, Gary. But that's up to the person here. You know, the person has to protect it from that type of stuff, man. Tiny thinks we're going to pull back. Sorry, it says top chat, but it doesn't show me all of them for some reason. I mean, every fiat is worth what people think it's worth. Head and shoulders on Bitcoin. I can kind of see the head and shoulders pattern here. Here's a shoulder, maybe. Put a 5-minute chart up. Like a longer term head and shoulders, maybe. Here's the head at the all-time highs, and then here's a couple shoulders. I see that. Pull back, maybe. Run, maybe. Run up and drop shortly after the opening bell. Run back up to 1030, somebody says. Yeah, that's what I'm learning, Blaze. It's a hedge. Nothing is totally safe. Yeah, nobody freaking knows. Pull back and run up if I have to guess. So you think we're going to dip originally and then go back? Joker says, I've held Bitcoin for years and I'm happy it's up. It's still not selling, but some of this pro-Bitcoin argument are sus. Maybe. Bitcoin has unlimited supply. It's all fake stories around Bitcoin. The first investors, we shady people among use fake name to register a stock. Like, maybe. Yeah, no, a lot of people speculate that they're just trying to get us into digital currencies. I don't know. Well, here's the dollar. Like, just to know, the dollar does move up and down. Just to clarify the value of the dollar. Like, look, if the dollar doesn't move up or down, look at this. I'll put it this way. You guys want to understand this, okay? Bitcoin is what the dollar should have been. Okay? What do I mean by that? The dollar and most coins were backed by real-world precious metals up until, like, really up until the mid-20th century. Money was backed by real value. Okay? Now they're not really, but they were. And if they were, like, if we were still on the gold standard, if you look how much gold has risen in the last 50 years, 20 years, the value of our money would be increasing substantially to keep up with inflation. Instead, they took us off the gold standard and really the entire precious metal standard. Quarters used to be, a specific amount of silver. Pennies used to be a specific amount of copper. And they took us off that standard. And if they kept us on that standard, the value of our dollars would be rising and rising and rising, as is the price of gold. Instead, we're not on that standard anymore. And so inflation is eating our money over time in a significant way. And Bitcoin is kind of built to counter that, if you will, right? Again, I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do long term. I like Bitcoin, but I don't know what it's going to do long term. I'm not an investment professional, but yeah. So I mean, like, you can dislike it. I get it. I'm not against you. Like, I'm not for you. I'm pretty neutral, but I like it. You know, investors demand that Tesla's board needs to rein in. Elon before it's too late, according to the New York Post. Apparently making money as an use case. Two-way trader says it's going to go to 125, 135, and then it's altcoins' turn, but only some of them. Yeah, look at gold right here. And gold has had a crazy good year, man. Gold is up to 33.70s right now. It's up from 33.35s. I like Mr. Robot, though. As somebody that, like, was into software for a long time, I love Mr. Robot, the show. I never finished it, but I got close to it. Yeah, I think pennies are going to be obsolete pretty soon. All right, so Bitcoin's starting to come back up a little bit. We're still watching the NASDAQ here. NASDAQ starting to head back up as well. Where's the highs of the day on the NQ? Highs of the day on the NASDAQ are about just under 23K at highs of the day for the NASDAQ here. We're watching that as well. Gold's still pushing up some. Samsung wearables, smart earrings and smart necklaces. I could go with smart necklaces. I don't know about smart earrings. Smart earrings are too vulnerable to fall off. That's the problem. We don't have pennies in Canada. What do y'all have? Y'all have loonies and toonies, right? Yes, I remember. That's what I remember most about going to Canada when I was young. I lived in Canada for a while. I remember loonies and toonies. Canada has $1 and $2 coins, which honestly we should have here. Like, I know we have like the silver dollars and stuff like that, but we should have $1 and $2 coins. Makes it really easy. You give somebody, you know, 3 of them, and that's $6. You know, you could leave a tip pretty easily with coins. Yeah. All right. Louis Vuitton UK says hackers have stolen some customer data, according to Bloomberg. Do y'all agree with the New York Post stating that the board is getting mad at Elon and they say they need to board, or that people are getting mad at Elon? They say the board needs to rein in Elon before it's too late, according to the New York Post. Not even saying I agree or disagree. I'm pretty neutral on that. You mean the next 5 cents? You know? He said, no, we ride the physical pennies, or we got rid of the physical pennies. Everything rounds up to the nearest 5 cents now. Yeah, well, Canadian dollars are worth a little bit less than our dollars anyway. So in that context, it makes more sense if a penny is worth less than our penny too. Slightly, you know. People are saying yes. All right, guys, we got 30 minutes until the opening bell today. 30 minutes. Gold has been on a push this morning. Bitcoin's been pushing up, broke all-time highs around 118s or so. NASDAQ is down mostly from yesterday's tariff announcement on Canada. You can see this big drop right here on the NASDAQ was specifically from the tariff announcement on Canada. So that's what's been going on. It costs 2 cents to make a penny. Well, that has to do with value. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. You can trade micro Bitcoin on Top Step's funded account program. They give you a 50K demo. They test your skill with it. You pass the test. They fund you. You fail, you only lose what you pay for. The base one's $50 a month. You can get started for $50. If you're not that good and you fail, you lose $50. It's not the end of the world. If you're good enough to pass it, you can get started for $50, make 3K in profit without losing 2K while following the rest of their rules, which you want to confirm with them. I can't guarantee anything. But if you do it, you can get started for $50, pass it, get a 50K funded account, 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K prior to the split kicking in. No PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, micro, Bitcoin, all that stuff, and start taking payouts. And they are some of the most reliable payouts in the game. They paid out hundreds of millions. Just a beautiful way to learn. Remember, they're a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased in their favor. You want to confirm it all with them. But if you want to check it out, I'll pin it to the top of the chat. Great way to get started for less in day trading specifically, when most day traders lose money. I'll pin it to the top of the chat as well. Check it out. Bitcoin started to come back very sideways, though. We got about 30 minutes into the opening bell. We'll see what that looks like. Nobody is in financial turbulence. Then who? I want to make an EV race car and take away. Hey, good luck, bro. You try that, Roddy. You know, I'm not saying you're not going to do it, but you're probably not going to do it. You can see these up and coming EV brands. Most of them fail, brother. That's one of the stories that I've been on for a long time. If you're an up and coming EV brand like Mullen, NKLA, a lot of them are going to fail, bro, and have failed already. Yeah. Well, good luck, Chuck. Wait, isn't that a movie? With Dane? Isn't that a Dane Cook movie? Good luck, Chuck. Doesn't it have Jessica Alba in it? Is that the same one? It's a 2000s movie, if I ever remember one. You need a two-wheeler to lug around. EV will never work for racing. The batteries don't last long. Yeah, for sure. Prime Day was down 41% from last year. And where's Amazon at? Was it really down that much? I saw Prime Day happen. I'm not a big believer. Amazon's still up. Pretty big. It didn't really drop at all from this. Shows the resilience of Amazon. Honestly, Amazon is one of the companies I'm the most confident in. It's very easily... You can easily see why. Why am I the most confident in Amazon? Because Amazon is something that almost the entire country uses. Like, the whole world uses Amazon for the most part. Not completely. There's always outliers, but almost everybody in the US uses Amazon, and more so than that, I would say a majority of the population is dependent on Amazon. And so whenever you got that many people dependent on your product day in and day out, you got some resiliency, I think. Like, you're resilient. And Amazon, one of those companies that's just freaking resilient right now. And I don't think this is going to change for a long time. I don't think another company is going to come in and eat Amazon's market share for a long time. A long time. If, you know, eventually it will happen because of this nature of business. But for a long, long time, I think Amazon's pretty good. Again, not an investment professional, though. Can't guarantee anything. Don't copy me. But, yeah. I think we're going to see Amazon start to test all-time highs eventually, sometime this year, probably. Yeah, but that all comes in waves. Not the dependency that matters, it's the spending. Yeah, I agree. I understand. But still. Do they even have Bang energy drinks anymore? Did you know that Bang energy drink got sued? If you used to see Bang energy drinks at the gym and now you don't see them anymore, like me, I used to see them all the time at the gym. I used to drink them. Here's the problem. This is what they did wrong. And honestly, it kind of got me. If I really wanted to sue them, I probably could. I was drinking Bang energy drinks because on the bottle it said super creatine. So what did I assume? I assumed that you had creatine in your freaking drinks. And so I'm like, let me get my dose of creatine for the day. I can drink this energy drink, go work out, get my dose of creatine, and it works great, right? But instead, they didn't actually have creatine in them. They just said super creatine on the freaking bottle, and they didn't even have creatine in the energy drinks at all. And so they got sued and lost millions and millions of dollars. And that's why you don't see them much anymore, is because they were basically lying to everybody who bought the freaking drink, including myself. I'm mad about it. I could be Arnold right now, you know, if it wasn't for Bang energy drinks. I'm blaming them, personally, you know. Yeah, the caffeine account is way too freaking much. It's probably a good thing, but but now the new one is what's the new one that everybody uses now? It's what's the new one? It's the thin little cans, silver cans. My daughter tries to drink them half the time. Celsius. Yeah, Celsius is the big one now. Everybody drinks Celsius now. All right, Bitcoin coming back up. We're almost green on our position now. Like I said, we're just going to hold this. This is one of the longest day trades you'll ever see me take. But I'm bullish at Bitcoin, man. I really am. I think traders are going to wake up. We're going to get closer to the opening bell, and we're going to start to see runs as volume gets here. I don't know for sure, but yeah. That's what I think we're going to see. All right, guys. You guys ready for market open? Testing my level. I hate it when my level becomes resistance, but hey. We'll see if the cup and handle pattern plays out. It might take later. We don't know when Bitcoin's going to break all-time highs, but it's trying. Bang never had creatine in them, Roddy. That's why they got sued. So again, Bang never had creatine in them. And they got sued for it because they said creatine on the bottle. People got mad about it. I was mad about it, to be honest. I thought I was getting my daily dose, and they didn't have it in them. So an admin official tells FBN they expect that the additional 35% tariff on Canadian imports starting August 1st will have a carve-out for goods being traded under USMCA. One caveat is that the paperwork on the additional 35% tariff has not been finalized. So an update on Canadian tariffs here. Again, admin official tells FBN that the additional 35% tariff on imports from Canada starting August 1st will have a carve-out for goods being traded under USMCA. One caveat is the paperwork on the additional 35% tariff has not been finalized. I mean, it depends on... Bitcoin is basically around all-time highs. All-time highs on Bitcoin futures are currently 119.4. It's at 118.4. So it's about $1,000 away, but it's close to all-time highs, and spot Bitcoin, you know, and regular Bitcoin broke all-time highs early this morning between like 12 and 3 a.m. All right, so Huawei plans to develop a more flexible and general purpose AI chip, according to the information. Maybe it's the European tariffs with 30%, 35%. ACB, cannabis company? I hope the US legalizes it sometime in the next decade. I mean, most of the US has legalized it, just to put this into perspective. Now, federally and recreationally is a different argument. Even Texas expanded the compassionate use program, and they added a bunch of stuff. There was previously a cap on cannabis products in Texas. Specifically, it was you couldn't have more than, it was like, I don't know if it was 0.3 or 3% content, THC content, and they removed the cap completely, and now it's 10 milligrams per serving is basically what it is now, which I think is reasonable. And it was a Republican that did this too, which was even more shocking. It was I can't remember what his name was. It was like Dan Patrick or whatever his name was. And they also expanded it for medical. This is all for medicinal medical use, right? This is not recreational. It'll be a long time before Texas does recreational. But I saw that. I did see that. And my whole argument with this is that, like, dude, like, I've known a lot of old friends and people that have gotten stuck on opiates. And opiates cause massive physical dependence, like to where people take them and then they can't get off of them because it makes them sick. Like, they literally get sick, and so they just stay on them for their life sometimes. And I think if you give people another option for pain management, something that does not cause physical dependence like that, I think it's a good thing, and it's something that people should support. And I know they've sent out a lot of stuff acting like it's bad. Looking at it objectively, it's less harmful than alcohol. It's just less harmful. The toxicity level, the inebriation level is less harmful than alcohol. It causes less physical problems and less physical dependence versus like opiates in general, which can, be incredibly dangerous and consuming. And so I think it's good. I think it's something we need, I think people are going to consume it anyway, regardless of its legalization status. And so you might as well give them a safe place, All right, guys, we got 20 minutes until the market opens. 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, my logic is if it's not harming anybody else, you should be allowed to do it. You should be allowed to do whatever you want to do with yourself, right? As long as it doesn't harm anybody else. But if it harms somebody else, even indirectly, even unintentionally, there should be some restriction to it to a certain extent, within reason. The biggest lobbyist groups against cannabis are pharmaceutical companies and law enforcement. Unions mostly for law enforcement, but they're the biggest anti-cannabis lobbying groups in the world. And so, I don't think we should lock people up for it either, I don't think it's harmless. Nothing's really harmless, but I think we also have to have an even standard of legalization. I don't think we should have alcohol and other drugs legal, but then pretend like cannabis is some demon drug. I think that's ridiculous, and it mostly just stems from... I think mostly it stems from people towing a political side, or I think there's been a lot of anti-cannabis media that's come out over the last 100 years that has kind of convinced people it's somehow some evil thing, and again, I don't think so, but... alcohol way objectively more harmful, in terms of inebriation, as well as like people can die just from alcohol withdrawal, right? And it's just much worse for everybody. And so you got to have an even standard. Anyways, Yeah, I'm watching the Nasdaq here. Nasdaq at 22.9. I'm watching this 23,000 level on the Nasdaq is what I really look at. Like 23K, big milestone level right above us here. Right above us. Yeah, I mean, I think more so than that, right? And this is something that I've seen for a very long time is that the reason cannabis is a gateway drug is because it's illegal, you know? Because like, and I've seen it happen. Like it's a gateway drug because you have to go to an illegal drug dealer to buy it, and eventually he's going to offer you other stuff, right? And boom, it's a gateway drug, right? If you let people go to a licensed dispensary, the people at the dispensary are not going to be offering you all these hard drugs. They're just not. That's not how it goes. And so the reason it's a gateway drug is because it's illegal. And if they really wanted to get rid of the gateway drug aspect, they'd legalize it and regulate it. You know, problem solved. But they don't want to look at that argument. So we got some Meta news. Meta is unlikely to offer additional changes to the payer consent model to the European Union, according to Reuters. Meta is likely going to be hit with fresh European Union charges under Digital Markets Act over business model. I mean, I'm pretty bullish on Nvidia long term, Rob. I have no idea what Nvidia is going to do short term, specifically because Nvidia is a microchip company and there's a lot of volatility. But I think long term, you have to look at the exponential growth of AI. And I think AI is going to grow exponentially. It's going to improve. Like, I think if you look at how much it's grown over 2 years and then you extrapolate that over the next 20 or 30, AI is going to have some massive, massive strides over the next 20 or 30 years. And I think the most powerful companies in the world are going to consistently be AI companies just based off of how useful it is right now and how useful it's grown over the past year or so. I think it's just going to get better and better and better. And in that regard, it's going to make Nvidia and other microchip stocks grow faster and faster and faster. But with that said, not an investment professional. We could always pull back today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. I have no idea. And if anything, the internet was that big technology, and a lot of internet stocks grew crazy. But following 2020 and the dot-com crash, we had one of the longest bear markets in history. And so in the next decade, it's not a given. Over the next 3, I think it is. And so that's my take on it. But again, I might be wrong, and let me know what you guys think in the chat. Can Top Step X make noises when the market is considered overbought or oversold? I know they added a like a algo sections, but I'm not sure. I haven't played with the algo section yet. AI toilet would be nice. It's coming. In 20 years, do you think they'll have an artificial intelligence toilet? I believe so, personally. I think they're gonna implement it in some way. You know, maybe you're gonna be able to control how heavy the flush is, and you can talk to it or set some setting. I'm sure it'll happen in 20 years. The business idea of the future, guys. China has some wild toilets already. Hey, they're ahead of the game. Yeah, that might be true. I think that's probably the better use case argument. Straight. He said AI toilets should be able to predict health issues. I think that's honestly a genuinely good idea. Analyze, interpret, you know? As a side project, while I'm bored at work, I'm working on a portfolio graph for traders that will look at their trades and other trades on the same platform I'm making and use AI to make suggestions. Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing that right now too. AI, it's kind of like an AI analyst. I think a lot of big brokerages are going to be doing that though. And so I think if you're creating something like that, you're going to have to compete with like Ameritrade or no Schwab now. You're going to have to compete with some of the biggest brokerages in the world because I think that's what they're going to be doing. I think the human element of investment advice is going to be moving towards AI pretty soon in terms of deep analysis. And I think that's some software that they're going to be implementing in their platforms. I'm sure a bunch of them have it already, but I'm sure we're just going to see more and more and more of that moving forward. I think we have nanobots already, Anton. Norway probably loading up US stocks as dollars week so they can get a good deal. Yeah, that's probably true. And again, some news came out about Meta. Meta is unlikely to offer additional changes to the payer consent model to the European Union, according to Reuters. All right, guys, we got the opening bell in 10 minutes. We'll see what this looks like. I will be day trading live at the opening bell. Let me see if I can pull another window up if it lets me. Okay. Is this good? This is too many windows. I'm going to try to trade this, but put the music back on. All right, we got 10 minutes. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. Market's price action is mostly based. Nasdaq's pretty sideways right now too. Again, I'm watching 23,000, but I think it's also possible we dip. I'll have to draw some levels here. When is that, Anton? Yeah, when is that? Let me know. All right, we asked people, did Bitcoin break all-time highs today? 71% say yes. Does Bitcoin break all-time highs again today? Yeah, look at Nvidia fall down. Yeah, it's been a slower week. I mean, we don't really have much going on this week in terms of economic reports, which is kind of the main catalyst of my channel. It's kind of slowed. But next week we got CPI, inflation, and retail sales. Next week we got a whole bunch of stuff, honestly. Yeah, next week we have retail sales, CPI, inflation. All right, guys. Yeah, so next week we have CPI inflation, PPI inflation, retail sales, jobless claims numbers, a bunch of Fed members speaking, housing starts, building permits, Michigan consumer sentiment, and more. So every day next week we got a whole bunch of stuff. This week's been slower, but every now and then we get a slow week and then a busy week, and next week's busy for sure. I usually don't tell people to hit the like button straight jacket. I might say it once or twice per stream, but I'm not really pumping it like a lot of others. I usually keep it pretty neutral. Man, look how slow the NASDAQ is right now. NASDAQ's been in the sideways range. It's at the bottom of the range now, so I almost want to buy it. Maybe I should. Here. We'll buy it, see if we run up into the opening bell. We'll take 2 micros. Keep it small, though. We're too close to the opening bell for me to take a big position here. That's good. Hey, very nice. Let's see if this holds now. I'll let it work. Probably hold it break even if it turns against me. All right, we're going to take half off there just to protect the trade, and now we'll hold the rest break even. So we're not going to lose money, but it's going to be small. Five minutes left, chat. 5 minutes left. I think 23,000 is a big level, and we're close enough to that. Whoa. Big spike up. This must be the MOO. Nice. I'm going to take it off right there. We probably just made $30 or so. A little cushion into the opening bell. This is starting to retrace is what it looks like, so I'll take it. And that's in my actual funded account on the right side. What's wrong with him trying to grow his channel? No different than people asking for reviews on services. Yeah, no, I mean, we grow the channel. We've had a lot of crazy growth this year, honestly. Like, my streams used to only average 400 or 500 people here. Now they average 600, 700, 800 people. And I would say a majority of the days we break 800. It just, this week is slower because no economic reports. But the channel's experienced a lot of growth, and people are usually okay with me plugging stuff or you know, my big thing is I don't sell a course, I don't sell a service, I don't claim to be an expert, I don't act like a guru, I don't charge for anything. And everything I put out there is free, and we cover economics, market news, and all that good stuff. And so that's kind of what we do here. And I told people I wouldn't charge or have any paywalls behind my content, and I'm going to stick to it. I've been telling people that for years. And so I'm kind of going to stick to that. So with that, you better believe I'm going to plug a sponsor occasionally, or I'm going to tell people to subscribe. You know, it's just kind of the nature of things. This is Friday, fake breakout. Yeah, I think so. And that's why I got out. It looks like I got out right around the highs too, which is good. The reason we got that spark is the MOO, the market on open. And so that's what happened. Bitcoin going to play out this head and shoulders, go down to 116 today. Maybe. It does look like a head and shoulders, but we'll see what happens at the opening bell. This is the best stock market channel. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you. It's the market on open. Yeah, for sure, Dr. Crypto. Most people are chill. You got some people that just... usually the biggest haters are people who have tried to create another channel and failed, right? And so if you look at the haters and then look at their channel, usually they're like YouTubers who have tried and failed to create channels. And so I just assume they're just bitter most of the time. Because like I might dislike somebody, I'm not going to go to their stream and talk smack. You know, that shows a different thing. Nvidia ripping up right now as we speak, though. Look at Nvidia go here at the opening bell. Let's see if any catalyst just came out for Nvidia, because Nvidia is running right now. Running. Just tap the previous closing price right at the opening bell. Literally right there. I'm looking for news right now. El Salvador's Bitcoin reserve is now worth 700 million. Yeah, I don't see any Nvidia news right now. I'm looking, but I don't see anything. Let me know if you guys see anything. Nvidia's ripping though. I find you the most relaxing to watch and learn from. Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so Nvidia went up there right to that previous close. This is why you should watch the previous closing price too. If you look at this previous closing price on Nvidia, it's right at 164.10. That's exactly where we went. So, milestone level. I probably trade 3 hours, 3 hours a day. Jensen met at the White House last night. If news of that meeting came out. I find most people hate you when you're successful. Yeah, me too. I'm not even saying I'm super successful, just to clarify. Definitely top 3 ever. I don't trade futures at all. I just tune in for the economic news and good vibes. Hey, thank you, MC. I appreciate you, sir. Look at Nvidia and the NASDAQ rip up. Maybe I should have held that long. We're too close to the opening bell, though. Here's the opening. You know, so we're too close to the opening bell. We're running. Ouch, dude, that hurt. I don't know why that opening bell sound was so loud. I'm sorry if it was that loud for you. White House announcement could be US-Russia stuff, maybe. Hey, look at the NASDAQ rip up at the opening bell. Does it want 23,000? My Bitcoin position on my challenge account's down, though, but that's okay. Nvidia shooting up at the opening bell. We're at 164.20s. Thank you. Although my mic is good and it doesn't pick up that background noise, but still. Delta Airlines has been taking Pratt & Whitney engines off new Europe-built A321 Neos, shipping them back to the U.S. without any duties, according to Bloomberg. So Delta might be in trouble here. Yeah. Here, I don't need that anymore for sure, but I think it fell on the floor. All right, guys. Nvidia up to 164s right now. Micro Nasdaq at 22,940s. Moving up big at the opening bell. Micro Nasdaq at 22,950. Still heading up. Pretty strong opening bell here for this too. Nvidia shooting up to at 164.50s. Wait, where's the all-time highs? This might be all-time highs for Nvidia. Hold on. No, 164.80s is all-time highs for Nvidia, but it's getting very close. It's getting very close. So I will buy a pullback here in my actual funded account if we get one. All right, I'm gonna buy this. We'll try to add to this too. See if we can attack that all-time high test on Nvidia. All right, we're gonna buy the dip. We might add a couple contracts here, take some risk. Nvidia's heading up. 4 contracts here. There we go. Let's retrace back up there. Nvidia's up to 164.70. He's getting very close to all-time highs. Why is the NASDAQ falling? What's falling with the NASDAQ here? Complete got bought up here. Nvidia just broke all-time highs at 165s. How is the NASDAQ going down with Nvidia all-time high break? Bitcoin's going down too. But man, I was okay with taking a risk. Get that right there. Thank you, baby. But man, very strange. Nvidia's at 165s right now. The problem is that if Nvidia starts to come back down here, it's not going to be good. So I'm going to cut half of this just for protection. We'll see if it comes back higher. We still got a chance to make money, but the problem is something else is dragging the market down. Mine's not frozen. Nvidia's breaking all-time highs is what this is. I want to give it a chance. Let's see. Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Google. Is it Meta? It's Meta. Okay, that's what's dragging the market down. I still want to see if it gets bought up. I'm trading on Top Step X right now. Meta's crashing down is what's going on right now. That's what we're here. It's down a lot. I'm going to add to this, take some risk. Again, I don't mind. I'm pretty green in this funded account, so we got a little room to do this. I'd love to see it move back up now, though. There we go. Nice. Yes, sir. All right, we took half off there just to protect it. We're safer in doing this, and then I can let this run a little bit more. Yep. We'll hold this break even now. Take half off there and then hold the rest break even. Yeah, we're not really too bad here. Yeah, so this is Meta falling down. Like I said, we're close to break even now. I'm gonna cut it here just at break even. And we'll wait and see if we get another shot. Bitcoin coming back though, that's good. All right, we're gonna buy this again. See if we can add down here. Nvidia's right at the highs of the day again, so I want to see if this propels it higher. We're almost green. Let's see if we go green. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. All right, we locked most of it in. We got 1 micro left. I'm trying to be patient on this one. Nvidia looks like it's dipping back down though, so I'm gonna cut it right there. Yeah, we got pretty good on the last 4 or 5 trades. Might go back up though. Nvidia's at all-time highs again. It's the only big bull argument I think right now. Yeah, Fridays are always a little sketchy. Hey, what's up, Pedro? What's up, Leo? Again, I'm on Top Step X right now, so if you want to try Top Step X, 0 commission in futures. trading. Tiny amount of fees per trade. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, Bitcoin, micro Bitcoin specifically. And they give you a 50K demo. It's $50 a month. The 100K demo challenge is $100 a month. If you fail, it's not the end of the world. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split, and they pay out millions. They've paid out over 100 million, I think. More than that, I think, actually. Some of the best rules in the game, some of the most consistent payouts. And again, you can check out the link pinned at the top of the chat. They're a sponsor of mine. I can't guarantee anything. You want to confirm it all with them. I'm biased because they pay me money. But I think it's genuinely good for traders. All right, so we got out of our longs at the right time here. Bitcoin heading back up, though. Interesting. CNBC's Faber said it would be cautious on report of Performance Food Group attracting takeover interest from U.S. foods. Big red candle at the open now, though. Still falling down some here. We'll see what happens. Is Schwab down for anybody else? Toss Schwab down for anybody else? Looks like they're having some issues. This looks weak for the NASDAQ here. I'm going to short one micro here. Just one. Into this level that we got on the chart. We'll see what happens. Small little trade. I just want to see if we break down some more. There we go. I'm going to scalp that move real quick. Take my little $15 profit. Pretty good few string of trades here. Nvidia might be hitting some support, though. Let's see if we bounce now. Walmart recalls 1 million tumbler cups. Yeah, a lot of people say TOS has issues right now, so a lot of people say TOS is down. It's causing problems. Bitcoin is retraced all the way back down. I'm going to buy this dip, I think, in the NASDAQ here. Now, we're going to switch to a long. Maybe add more to it if we get in green. Yeah, because Nvidia's starting to bounce up too. Look at Nvidia. Yes, sir. There's Nvidia rise. All right, we're going to cut it up there too. Another green trade. Slowly chipping away at the open. Apple, I think Nvidia is moving up to maybe retest high all-time highs. Apple is down to 210, so Apple's looking a little weak but kind of neutral since the opening bell. AMD's dipping some too. That long position worked really well though. Most want to ensure I'm not trapped in trades. I have the former two, looking to sort out the third. Hey, good luck. I would be green right now. Yeah, TOS is down. Bitcoin back up though. I'm looking at news right now. I don't see any big news that came out since the open. Kind of settling. Here's 22.9 right here, this big blue level that we have on our chart. 22.9. And so I think we might head up to test that. I don't know what's going to happen though, since if we do test it. Again, I think you have to look at Nvidia. Because Nvidia is what's been strong all morning. It's been dragging. It's been going up higher. No, I'm not in Upper Michigan. Yeah, so see, we went up to that 22.9 level and rejected. Now we're kind of getting balled up right now. Pretty good little scalping since the opening bell. Um, okay. Just want to see something here. All right, so here's 22.9 right here. We've tried to get over it a couple times, but look at Nvidia go. I'm gonna buy this up too, unless we get some bad news that comes out. I'm gonna add to this one now too. See if we retrace back up there quickly. There we go. Took that off. We'll let this ride up. Nvidia just broke all-time highs. Nvidia over all-time highs. We're gonna hold this last contract break even. Wow. It looks heavy though. I'm gonna cut it right here. Ooh, got out break even there. Again, that 22.9 level holding resistance, as I said many times. Nvidia is still pushing, just broke all-time highs again. New all-time highs on Nvidia 165.57. Meta's been falling down mostly this morning is what I'm seeing. Nvidia new all-time highs 165.57. Here's Meta if you want to look at it real quick. Meta's all the way down to 712. It's been dragging the market with Nvidia getting over all-time highs. 165.61 new all-time highs for Nvidia. Hey, nice, William. Good job, bro. All right, we're at 165.61s. Nvidia's still pushing though. I want to buy this dip, but I'm worried Meta's going to keep falling down here right now. Meta down to 710s. Yeah, look at Meta down under 710s now, 709s. And I think Nvidia could pull back too, and that could exacerbate the downward momentum. So I'm just going to wait right now. We've had some good trades since the open, but I've heard Toss Schwab is messing up or down. Hey, later, Corey. All right, so head of Brazil's ABIEC industry group said 50% tariff would make it unfeasible for Brazil to export beef to the U.S. Bloomberg said Signature and Silicon Valley banks were bankrupted by falling crypto prices. But Bitcoin Archive says this is provably false. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm waiting for the market here. I don't really want anything right now. I kind of just have to wait. I took the coolest picture ever here, guys. I'm waiting for the market right now. I'm waiting for the market. I might look the coolest in a picture ever in this one. Y'all want to see it? I don't have to show it to you. I said it to Pawn, but I don't have to show it to you. Yeah, no, I know Brazil is a big beef source for the U.S. So tariffs, that's kind of the big argument for. All right, look at the NASDAQ pop up. We're still testing 22.9s. Let's see if we hold. NASDAQ testing 22.9s right now, 22.9s. I told him this is the coolest picture I'll ever take right here. The coolest picture I'll ever take. All right, NASDAQ pushing up. We're at 22.905s right now, 22.905s. Over that 22.9 level. Bitcoin still trying to rise. Yeah. Look at the NASDAQ surge here. I don't see Nvidia news. I mean, Nvidia is breaking all-time highs, though, so it's just surging volume at 166 right now. Look at this 930 level. Let's see if this level holds as resistance. When does Sam Bankman-Fried get out? I have no idea. Well, look at my toss. It's glitching out. Did y'all see that? That was weird. Anybody see my toss glitching out? Yeah, bro. I got on that horse and I wanted to run. I was trying to run on that horse. But it didn't want to run. It ran a little bit, but not much. All right, so the Indian foreign minister says they're going to visit China this weekend, according to Bloomberg, the first visit in 5 years. So we'll see, but let's see if we get a deal done. We have, what, 20 days left until a deal could potentially get done. NASDAQ is shooting up right now, shooting up. All-time highs. Still well over 23, but I think we got to watch this 23,000 level on the NASDAQ. This is mostly driven, when you look at the bottom right chart, this is mostly driven by Nvidia right now. Nvidia almost a 167s, consistently breaking highs candle after candle right now for Nvidia. We'll see if it holds, but consistently breaking highs candle after candle. We're up to 22,950 on the NASDAQ. Nvidia at 166.50s. Sorry, people over here slamming doors. Nvidia at 166.53 right now. All right, 166.50 for Nvidia. Toss appears to be back up. Yeah, it seems to be back up. Yeah, I'm probably going to get out of here, guys. I want to cover Nvidia, but I also am kind of on vacation, so I got to go. I'm not going to short right now. We're too close to this isolated high up here. I think the market wants 960s. So I'm going to get out of here. Listen, y'all check out Top Step if you haven't already. Beautiful way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money, and so why spend thousands of dollars probably going to lose your first couple accounts in day trading? Instead, try Top Step Futures. No PDT rule. Day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, micro Bitcoin right now. We're in that micro Bitcoin trade. We'll see how that one goes. But listen, I love you all. Have a great day. Be safe. I'll put the link up if you want to check it out. Great way to help support the channel here. And yeah, I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys bright and early Monday. Be sure to follow me at Beginner Trades if you want to kind of catch the breaking news. The slow week is now over. It's been really slow. But next week we got CPI inflation. You can check out Top Step right here. They're an affiliate or sponsor of mine, so I'm biased because I get paid by them. But genuinely useful. Nvidia consistently breaking all-time highs. Bitcoin starting to creep back up towards all-time highs. We'll see if it actually breaks. And I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good.